Bem-vindos, essa é a nona parte da nossa terceira aventura, King's Quest, Romance in the Stones, e tá na hora da gente fugir.
Seeing no other possible escape route, you climb onto the ledge and carefully lower your...
Tá.
You are way too busy holding on for dear life.
Agora tem que ir com cuidadinho. Vai. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Gram, Spider-Gram. Spider-Gram, Spider-Gram. Ui, vai na fé. Vai na fé, filho, que você consegue. Oh, opa. Deixa eu ter que ir pra cá agora. Ah!
Suddenly, you hear a switching noise in your ear. It's joined by two others. You instinctively try to brush whatever it is away, but in doing so, lose your hold on the bricks and fall backwards.
Ah, já era!
Time slows as you fall, and your world turns black.
Ah.
When I saw you, I knew it was true. There's a love between us won't be torn in two. Once waked from sleep, a smile and speak. Love and adore forevermore.
Oh. Não, isso não tinha no jogo original de 85. Ai, estou vivo.
Our guest has awoken, my love.
É você, vovó?
Good evening, dear king. I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Count Caldor, former lord of the realm of Colima. May I present my wife, Countess Lavidia?
A pleasure to see you again.
In gratitude to you for alerting me to my wife's grave condition, I took the liberty of preparing you a dish. I thought you might be hungry after your harrowing adventure at my window. You will forgive us if we do not join you. Our tastes differ from yours. Do they not, my darling?
Não quero nem
You
saber.
shudder to think what different tastes actually means, but for some reason you note that you can no longer hear any rats squeaking in the distance.
Nossa, comer os ratos.
Indeed, so much to become accustomed to.
You shall have all the time that the world has to share to grow accustomed to such things. Should the father locate the item by then, there might not be enough world left for anyone afterwards.
Oh.
As this father, to do is why you frequently went abroad, always with that cloak of yours?
Most certainly. But I
Ixi.
think that my affiliation with him and his association
Oh,
has come to a close.
legal.
My
Vampiro do bem.
obligations to them took me away from my beloved too often. I do not wish to repeat that mistake.
You are forgiven, my love.
Their attention, which seemed to have wavered momentarily, now redirects back to you.
Well, well, well. What to do with this one?
Ei.
What were you going to do with him?
Kill him. I had quite clear instructions from Hagatha, who had apparently received them from the father himself.
But if you are not, as you say, affiliated with his association anymore,
They both share a knowing smile.
tell us, King Graham, why are you here in Colima?
You take a deep breath, trying to ignore the fact that you are the only one capable of doing so,
Você
and
é o
relate
único
your
capaz de fazer
story
isso.
of the vision in the magic mirror and your quest to
Nossa,
find
história
a
comprida.
Romancing the stone.
Romancing the Stone.
Indeed.
Obviously, that was a private joke, as you did not understand it.
É, uma piada interna que
So
não
you
entendeu.
search for the one with which you would share the rest of your life. On that I cannot fault you, nor on your intentions here. Therefore, I can forgive the trespass.
Valeu.
However,
Perdoa.
there is the matter of the dark gem you wish to remove from my castle.
Sim. Preciso dela. Olha aqui.
I place a deal before you. I am looking for a magnificent sapphire-encrusted tiara. It is of valuable family. This castle and its
Foi roubado.
estate are old, though. It could be I wish to present this tiara to my wife as a gift. If you can find it and bring it to me before sunrise.
Nossa. É muita coisa pra fazer, né?
You nod, unable to believe that you have virtually been ushered away from death's door just so you could run an errand for a couple of vampires. You do not want to think about the consequences if you fail to meet the deadline.
Ixi. Ai.
The Count is a tall, fearsome-looking man. His chalk-white skin, ruby-red lips.
Vamos conversar?
So, I have until just before
That is correct.
and if I am
The Count's eyes glint red.
For your own sake.
You bravely suppress a shudder.
Tá bom.
The Count has...
E você?
pardon my asking, but as the Countess of this realm,
Yes, that is so.
then how did you come to live in that old house by...
After my husband died, I continued to live in the castle for a time. I watched my newborn son grow into a man, marry and have a child.
Possum?
Yes. Shortly after her birth, however, my son and his wife both befell a tragic end at the hands of...
The Countess looks pained and appears unable to continue.
I apologize if I have caused...
A vampire cannot truly feel grief, but perhaps my wife still recalls hers. I shall...
Tá. Então você vai continuar a história?
Please, if I may know, how were your son and daughter-in-law lost to you?
They were slain by the Brotherhood.
Ah,
The
os...
Brotherhood?
You have met them at the church.
Your mind reels, so that is the connection.
Entendeu.
Why would the Brotherhood... Oh.
As you have just guessed, the Brotherhood wish an end to the reign of my family. Why else would they give you the means to penetrate?
The Cross Key.
Exactly. Stolen from me through stealth. The Counts of Colima have all descended from a single bloodline. We have always been partial to change. Over the last few decades, the Brotherhood have that which I am now was brought about by... Long have I cursed my ineptitude. I should have used...
Do not be so hard on yourself, my dear. I remember that night well. That hideous creature gave you no chance.
Perhaps. But I should... Then I would have been able to protect our beloved son and his wife, and you would not have been forced to flee the castle, to live out your days in that wretched old house.
It was not so bad a time. Dear little possum loved it.
This Brotherhood.
They were once. Local folklore would have you believe that we are...
And what of them?
I believe the monks
quiser ler, pode
encountered these
pausar, né?
spirits. Unfortunately, their minds...
So the danger you face is not a result of...
Not at all, dear king. Though history will... They do not represent.
The Count...
Tá, merda.
The Count...
Tá, eu acho que eu vou pegar mais uma coisa que agora...
You
que eu
seem to have lost your appetite. You seem...
Eu não comi desde a festa lá do
You take the
Poseidon.
ham from the dining table.
Tá bom, agora eu tenho que pegar esse negócio lá. Oh!
You see a young woman sitting on the dusty floor. She has a book in her lap entitled Little Red Riding Hood.
I wish I could read this story.
Ué,
All the pretty words.
A young woman sits on...
Whatever do they say?
ela não sabe ler?
The book tells the story of a young girl who met a wolf in the forest.
The young woman's head snaps up. Her black eyes drill into your own. You gasp as you realize you are looking at yet another vampire. Just how many has the count made tonight? The young woman's lips transform from hungry to, fortunately, pleasant recognition.
So you are the guest of my grandfather's house. I was hoping I would meet you again.
The woman is startlingly beautiful, but in an eerie, unnatural way. You find yourself unable to speak for a moment. She does look somewhat familiar, but from where?
Oh, my handsome gentleman does not recognize me?
Should I?
You remember the basket, the soup?
With a start, you recognize the young woman. She's grown and matured considerably since you last saw her. The little girl, Possum, has been transformed completely into this. She has traded her small ruby cloak for a dazzling satin robe of the same color.
Are you unhappy with my appearance?
No, it's just that you have me at a disadvantage. I do not know your real name.
Anastasia.
Nossa.
A beautiful name.
Oxi.
Yes, 'twas one of the few things my parents left me before they died. What do you see?
You explain your so far unsuccessful attempt to locate the tiara. The young woman looks...
Conversou bastante.
She appraises the black book with indignant incomprehension, then holds it out towards you. You take the book.
I do not suppose that has anything to do with it, but it
Tá bom. Vamos ler.
You open the book and are surprised to discover not pages, but a hollowed out section in which sits a silver key.
Tá. Vamos conversar mais.
How do you feel about what the Count...
I am not sure. I suppose...
Grateful?
Yes. If he had left me as I was, I would have faced the same danger that claimed the murderers hunt my family still. We will not be completely safe until they are gone. At least I now need not fear anything that prowls by...
True enough. And if you can avoid daylight altogether for the rest of eternity...
Isso, o Graham parece que fez uma piadinha, né?
You have nothing else.
Tá certo. O que é isso aqui?
This would appear to... It is a collection of literature dealing with the arrival of the first mages and what became of their descendants, who were and are all mages themselves. It is a collection of... This bookcase appears to recount the entire... This bookcase...
Tá, mas só isso o livro pretende pra me dizer? Ou tem mais coisa?
In the hollow, you can see that the inside back cover has been...
Ah, aqui. Outro riddle. The treasure you seek dear to my heart and the fiction where you must start. Ah, tá. Beauty, a bela e a ferra, with two stepsisters too. They visit the hunt that big bad wolf. Tá, aqui é a... Ah, tá, aqui é porquinhos. Girl with no flock... No flock? O que é flock? The little old man who spent gold of the... Ah, tá. Rumpelstiltskin. Chose two star-crossed lovers that shall you last guide. Romeo e Julieta? They will lead you to reach the pirates' hide. Será a Ilha do Tesouro? Alguma merda assim? Piratas? That you earn a sea shall not be yours, not get out of the moles.
The writing scrawled on the back cover reads, if treasure...
Tá.
The book contains instructions, but instructions pertaining to what, I wonder?
Read it to me.
You do so.
Why, it's the bookcase, silly. It tells you how you'd find a book from there. You have to simply follow the directions. I am sure you will figure it out.
What is Moz?
Mouse seria algo como estômago em inglês? Oxi!
He will not bother me, seeing as how I am not at all appetizing to him.
Anastasia's face lights up suddenly.
If you want, I can make you like me. That way, you'd be safe.
Não.
It would have sounded to you like a generous, innocent suggestion from a sweet girl if it did not involve large losses of essential bodily fluids on your part.
Ixi. Não tô preparado pra virar vampiro, não. Deixa eu dar uma salvada. Gema da Terra. Ai, vamos lá. Nossa senhora, eu vou ter que ver um pouco. Ih! Ah, eu vou ter que dar uma pausa. Pera aí. Voltamos. Aqui está. Eu acho que eu fiz certo. Primeiro
A new book
Cinderela.
has appeared on the third shelf down.
Onde? Nem cheguei. Third shelf down. Aqui? Opa, cliquei no negócio errado? Eu nem reparei se eu tinha clicado. Ixi, eu nem prestei atenção onde surgiu o outro livro.
You become acquainted with the greatest book critic of all time.
Vou dar uma pausa. Voltando. Nossa, tem que prestar atenção. Onde vai surgir o outro livro?
A new book has appeared on the third shelf down.
Third shelf down. Esse aqui. Ah, a Ilha do Tesouro, que eu tinha até comentado.
You've located the correct book. You pluck it from the shelf and read its title, Treasure Island. What is this? There seems to be a lock binding the cover shut.
Tá.
Attempting to bat.
Tá. Esse puzzle eu achei desnecessário.
The key fits perfectly into the lock.
Ah, agora está aberto.
Skimming through the book, you find that a map has been sketched onto the last page. According to this, the tiara has been buried near one of the graves. You shudder, hoping that this is not going to be a case of digging. There is also a small piece of writing near the bottom.
Outro.
A date of fate can be found with a first, a second, and a double of nothing.
Peraí.
According to this, the tiara has been buried near one of the graves. There is something written near the bottom. A date of fate can be found with a first, a second, and a double of nothing.
1200. Data do fate deve ser tipo data da morte.
I wish only one thing as payment for helping you find that book.
O quê?
Of course.
Would you be so kind as to take this bracelet and place it on my mother's grave? I believe she wanted me to have it while I was alive. Now, it seems no longer appropriate to keep it.
Tá bom. Eu faço tudo isso aqui.
Thank you. I must retire now. It will not be long before sunrise. Good night, Graham.
Adeus.
Good night, Anastasia.
Olha o nome da menina. Ai, tá, achei a tiarinha e eu preciso dar isso para os pais dela, que devem ser aqueles dois fantasminhas camaradésimas que me mataram no outro vídeo. Tô.
As you hold up the bracelet, the ghosts seem to relax slightly. You wonder if it is now safe to approach them and enter the cemetery.
Posso?
You place the bracelet on the grave.
Nossa.
It immediately sinks down into the earth.
Tá bom.
The ghosts do not respond at first. Then one of them drifts toward you. It nods, almost sadly. The ghost seems to want to say something but appears unable. Its face, though transparent and hazy, is lined with...
Tá, fantasma é fêmea.
We understand that our daughter will never be joining us now. No longer do we need wait for her. Now we journey to the realm of the dead, where its lord waits to judge us. Farewell.
You bow your head and cross your heart out of respect. While looking downward, you notice that a beautiful gold ring now lies at your feet.
Opa.
This cemetery is one of the creepiest you have ever seen. You can't imagine. You feel
Quero pegar o anel.
You feel
Consigo mirar direito.
You feel apprehensive.
Não acredito, peraí. Oxe, desculpa ter demorado tanto, gente. É que na verdade eu tô gravando esse vídeo numa janelinha minúscula. De 320 por 100 e pouco. Porque é só assim que o programa que eu peguei pra gravar vídeo consegue gravar. Ele não grava full.
Lord Herbert and Lady Lillian. Lord Herbert.
Ah, tá.
Mary Ann Drinkwater.
Drinkwater.
1230 to
Agora eu tenho que achar uma data de morte de 1200.
Douglas Buck. Susanna Som. Samuel You Believe.
Samuel You Believe.
Maria Von Trapp. 35
Nossa,
to
antiga.
65. The Hills Beckoned.
Nossa, essa aí é antiga, hein?
Boris and Olga. There was an old couple.
Tá, não tem nem data de nascimento.
Alfred Chamberlain, 810
Ah,
to
esse aí.
810. He'd not seen his first sunrise, felt not the warmth of dawn. All Count Christopher Evere, 1175
Será
to
que esse aqui?
1200. The young Evere, his time so
Pera aí, deixa eu salvar. Eu tô achando... Peraí. Eu tô achando que é no cemitério dos...
you stop digging when your shovel hits.
Opa.
You feel
Vai.
apprehensive about being here.
Eu tenho que mirar bem no buraquinho.
Nervously, you reach down.
Ah, aqui achei.
There is a tin box. You search through the belongings of the deceased. According to the headstone, they belong to a Count Christopher Evere. After some tentative searching, you find a parchment. It appears to be the last will and testament of Larman Odnarb, healer. This isn't right. You run your eyes over the parchment. It's dated 1200, the same as the date on the headstone.
Tá.
However, the instructions pertaining to his burial were for Larman to be placed near his family at the church's cemetery. Oh dear.
Ih, vou ter que ir no cemitério dos lobos. Ah, e eu acho que esse vídeo vai ficar por aqui, gente. A gente continua no próximo.